Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Finding sponsorship as a chef or cook in Australia can be a complex but it is an achievable process. First of all, we have to understand the requirements needed for the chef or cook sponsorship. There are three standard and commonly applied visas by the chefs or cooks in Australia: the Subclass 482 visa, Subclass 494, and Subclass 186 visa. These are the three standard and commonly applied visas. Other than that, we have the labor agreement and the Dharma visas, and but I'm in this video I'm going to focus only on these three visa: 482, 494, and 186 subclass visa. For any of these three visas you are applying for, you are likely needed a formal skill assessment to verify your qualification and experience as a chef or cook. So what is a skill assessment? How to start the process of the skill assessment? Who is the assessing authority? How to work on this process step by step? We have a detailed video in our channel. When you get time, go and have a look. You will get an idea how to do the skill assessment for the chef or cook in Australia. And with the skill assessment, you will also need to demonstrate your English language skills through a recognized test like IELTS, PTE, TOEFL, etc. You will also need to meet the health and character requirements. So if you have these things, then you are good to go. If you have these things, you are done. You can find a potential sponsor who can sponsor you for a job for chef or cook. Look for positions on the popular Australian job websites. After that, there are very good websites like indeed.com, seek.com, and LinkedIn. I will put in my description. You can have a look. So in these job websites, if you put like a visa sponsorship or a 482 visa or 186 visa sponsor visa, anything like that, you will definitely find lots of jobs around Australia, and you can find a job and you can contact the employer and you can go from there. I'm an example. I got a job like that. I got a job through indeed.com. So there is a possibility that you can find a job in a job website and you can apply through there. Or if it is very hard for you, then you can also find a specialized recruitment agencies or registered migration agent who focus on placing overseas workers in Australia. They often have lots of connections with employers seeking to sponsor the chefs. Then prepare your detailed resume to highlight your culinary skills, experience, and any other specializations you have. A cover letter is a must with your resume, and the resume should be very, very detailed. So by seeing the resume itself, the employer has to figure out that how you are in your experience and work. Once you find your employer, the employer will need to apply for a sponsorship, and they demonstrate that they have to demonstrate before they nominate you. They have to demonstrate to the government that they couldn't find any suitable local candidate. That is why the employer will then nominate you for the specific chef or cook position. Finally, the employer will nominate you, and once the nomination got approved, you will lodge your visa applications for them. And most of the time, each and every employer, they have their own migration agent. They will work on your visa process, and you have to provide all your documents. Once everything is okay, then you will get a visa. It looks easy, but it is a very lengthy and difficult process. Each and every step have lots of weight. For that, we need lots of patience to go around. Each and every visa have different conditions, like the three visa what I mentioned, like 482 visa or 494 and the 186 subclasses. First we go in the 482 visa. Okay, 482 visa, it is called a skill in demand visa. It is a temporary visa that allows skilled workers to come to Australia to fill the positions that employers can't find Australians to fill. The same thing what I told above. To apply for this visa, you need a qualification experience in an eligible occupation, which means the skill assessment. An Australian business need to nominate you for the specific role, and this is a temporary visa. It lets you to live and work in Australia for a period which is usually up to 4 years, and it can be a stepping stone to permanent residency. After 4 years, if you are eligible, you can apply for permanent residency in that visa. It is very important that you have to work only for the employer who sponsored you. Whether you like it or not, you cannot work for another employer unless you change the employer legally by notifying the Department of Home Affairs. Okay, so this is a temporary visa for 4 years, and you can go through this one if you want to work temporarily and find a PR later. The another visa is the 494 visa. So in the 482 visa, you can work anywhere in Australia. But in the 494 visa, you can work anywhere in Australia, but you have to work only in the regional area. Regional area is the place, the employer will find very difficult to find the workers for them. So if you go and work in the regional area, the employers are very happy to sponsor you. Most of the sponsors are from the regional area, and the visa process is also very easy. They will approve you very fast. That is why this visa is designed only for the regional people. So the 494 visa is a temporary visa for skilled workers who wanted to live and work in the regional Australia. So in this visa, you cannot work in the cities like Sydney or Brisbane or Melbourne. You cannot work there. You can work only in the regional area. For applying this visa, you need a job offer from the regional employer who is willing to sponsor you. All the process are nearly same like the 482 what you have above. It's all filling about the job shortages in areas outside the major cities. You need to have the skill and experience required for the job. So in this visa, it lets you to live and work in the regional area for up to 5 years. Okay. So in these 5 years, after completing the 3 years with the employer, if you meet the requirements, you can also apply for permanent residency after 3 years. Basically, it's a way for skilled workers to contribute to regional area and potentially gain permanent residency in the process itself. With this visa also, you have to work only for the employer who sponsored you. Whether you like it or not, you cannot work for another employer unless you change the employers legally by notifying the Department of Home Affairs. Most of the people are now applying for this visa because it's a very easy. Like you will get Medicare in this one, in the 494 visa, and most of the government facilities you will get in this 494 visa. It's same like the PR process, but only thing is like you have to work in the regional area and you have to work with the employer for 5 years. In that 5 years, after 3 years, if your employer agrees, you can apply for the permanent residency. Once you get permanent residency, then you are free to go. So most of them, they are willing to do this visa now. And the last visa which we are talking about is the highly sought after visa is the Subclass 186 direct entry stream. It is very hard to get this visa. The Subclass 186 direct entry stream is a pathway to permanent residency Australia for skilled workers. It is a permanent residency visa who have been nominated by an Australian employer. This visa grants permanent residency in Australia, allowing you to live, work and study indefinitely. For this visa, your occupation must be on the relevant skill occupation list. So this visa at the present moment, they are giving only for chefs. It is very hard to get this visa for the cook. Okay, so if you are a chef with a good qualification and experience and you have a strong profile, you can apply for this visa. For this visa, the occupation must be you on the occupation list, and also you need at least 3 years of strong experience you need for this visa. So you usually need a skill assessment to verify your qualification, as I mentioned earlier. And also in the IELTS minimum, you need 6 band in each. Okay, or if you do PTE, you need whatever you do, you need at least 6 band to prove yourself for this visa. Importantly, it's a way for skilled workers with the employer sponsored to gain permanent residency in Australia. Your chef profile should be very strong for applying for this visa because the employer has to trust you and your work. Sometimes employers will take you on a temporary visa, and once they like your work, they will sponsor you for a 186 visa. 2 or 3 of my friends gone through the same situation. They came to the employer for a temporary visa, like a 482 skill in demand visa. Before it was a 482 TSS visa. So they will make a deal like, I will come and work for you, and if you like my job, then you have to give me permanent residency if you talk to them. with the gentleman agreement. If you come there and work there, if the employer like you, they will give you 186 sponsorship after seeing your work. It is possible, yes. So everyone who is considering this visa should know one more important thing. If the employer is asking for money for you to sponsor you, that is a crime, because both you and employer will be in trouble. So if your employer is nominating you, he has to spend his own money for nominating you. You pay only for your visa fees. And if your migration agent is doing your visa process, then you pay the migration agent fees. Other than that, you don't need to pay for any sponsorship or anything like that. All the employer has to take care of that sponsorship. Most of the chefs or cook come to Australia on these visas only. If you watch this video fully, you will understand what you need to come to Australia as a chef or cook. We also have a separate video for the chef or cook skill assessment process in detail, as I mentioned earlier, which will be very helpful for you guys when starting the process. I hope this video will be helpful for you, and you can share this free information with your friends or family seeking a chef or cook job in Australia. If you like my video, please like, comment, share and subscribe. Thanks for watching my video, and see you everyone in the next video. Thank you.